Welcome back for the part 3. Now, those of you guys that haven't watched part 1 and part 2, um, we're basically reading a arrest affidavit. And what I'm going to demonstrate today is how this clown, why he doesn't have a job anymore. And in my class, that's right, we got a class coming up. We got a travel and driving class. We're going to be talking about how to deal with this kind of stuff. When you're dealing with tyrants, what do you do? Okay? Do you come busting through the door, you hear the A-Team music in the background? No, that's not how you do it. There's a much quieter way to do it, and it's quiet, and it's private, and it works fast. This dude got fired so fast, his driver's license picture probably faded. Really, that fast. Anyway, getting back to the affidavit. Again, I'm going to demonstrate how these guys create evidence. Now, in the beginning of this is on page 2 of this big run-on sentence that he wrote, and that's what it is, and it's very hard to read because of this. It's all run together. And this is what happens when you're dealing with a 70 IQ. So, when you're dealing with these guys, we're going to show you in my class how to use that to your advantage, because you can. Now, after I refused to sign his little form, it says that this clown right here decided he was going to attack me and try to take my wallet back from me after he gave it to me. It makes no sense at all, because I wouldn't sign his little paper. And apparently he thought it was a lawful thing or something. I don't know. Apparently he thought he was the law. But anyway, it says Dameron resisted, of course, and resisted the search, which he had no reason to search me in the first place. He said I was being combative. And then, and of course anybody be combative if you were being illegally searched. I mean, duh, gaslighter. Anyway, and then he was told that he was under arrest. For what? Where he continued to refuse to be handcuffed. And why? Because they couldn't tell me what I was being arrested for. And there was a lot of exchange that went on back and forth there, but mysteriously, the lobby tapes of the Houston County Court or the Houston County Sheriff's Office have been muted and edited and disappeared, and all kinds of things have happened since then. But this is just what these guys do to try to hold it all together. Let's keep reading anyway. And again, I'm going to show you some of the errors in this. And this is why it's so important that if you ever get arrested, get the arrest affidavit. Because then you get the real story. And then you get to see. That's when these guys are put to the test. Okay? This is when they learn to write with pencils instead of crayons. But let's keep reading here. Alright, he continued to refuse to be handcuffed. Dameron was eventually handcuffed in the corner of the lobby area after I was beat up with the assistance of Investigator Christian. And Investigator Christian is no longer with us. That's right, because he did the majority of the swinging and wailing and bending on me. And I wasn't being disruptive, but they were trying to really piss me off so I would be disruptive. So this is gaslighting. This is what these guys do. We're going to be talking about this in my class. Let's keep reading though. Dameron was found to be in possession of 2 joints. And they smelled of the presence of marijuana. Listen to this. The packaging indicated that it was hemp, super space candy, legally purchased. That's exactly what it was. And Investigator Kalen, this moron, said the packaging looked odd. Because in a town of 7,000 people, you have just so much availability out there. Get out of here. It's ridiculous. Anyway, the joints were not uniform in appearance. And they're all hand-rolled, so none of them are uniform in appearance. I hate to break it to you. But anyway, making this, the investigator believed that the packaging was a ruse to confuse law enforcement. Yes, because I would just walk into the lobby of the Houston County Sheriff's Department with some illegal drugs in my front pocket in a box. Come on now. But, when they're looking for a reason, because I didn't want to sign his little paper, this is when all this stuff starts going. We're going to go and finish this thing up. The joints were not uniform. Such a long run-on sentence. If they came upon these items, it says never mind, hold on. Investigator Kalen conducted a field test for the presence of synthetic cannabinoids. Now, first we made a determination that it smelled like pot. And now, then we make a determination that it looked like it was in a hemp box. And now he's testing it, and this organic product that smelled like weed is now testing positive for synthetic cannabinoids. Now, these are those little tests that they use on the side of the road that they're not supposed to use them anymore because they're very inaccurate. And so apparently he's testifying under oath and lying that this stuff tested positive for synthetic cannabinoids, because later this stuff was tested through another lab, and the lab confirmed it nothing to be synthetic. Matter of fact, they burned it all up. It's kind of dumb. But anyway, that's what they did. Dameron being in possession of controlled substance within 1,000 feet of Crockett City Park, and therefore a drug-free zone. Now, hold on a second. Didn't this affidavit start in the lobby of the sheriff's office? Do you see how they just made this up just so they could make the crime worse? $10,000 felony bond for 2 little joints. And he stated under oath, this is how they lie, that the weight of the substance fell between 4 and 2 grams. Do you know what a joint would look like that would be between 4 and 2 grams? It would be massive, and it would not fit in a little box by any means, because nobody sells them that big. Wow. And this is why these guys have a $13 million lawsuit filed against them. This class coming up on the 28th and 29th, I'm going to show you how this entire police department got defunded. Everybody that put their hands on me doesn't work in law enforcement anymore, except for one of them, and he's an Austin ISD cop now. And this guy went from being the sergeant to barely back in law enforcement. And it's because of this sort of thing. When you start turning the administrative wrenches, the agencies start looking at each other, and when they do that, their programming activates. We're going to be talking about that in this class, and I'm going to show you how to use all of this to your advantage so that you can get out of these situations without being harassed, without all kinds of nonsense happening. There's a better way to do things, guys, and I've had to learn it the hard way. I'd love to share it with you guys. It's going to be on January 28th and 29th. Set an appointment with me right up here at the top, houseofyahcommunityoutreach.com/workshops. I'd love to meet with you. And if you have any questions, bring them there too. Blessings, everyone.